Hello everyone. Let's solve a previous year GATE 2004 question based on CPU scheduling. Here we are given four processes P1, P2, P3, P4 along with their arrival time and burst time. What we need to find out is the average turnaround time when we apply SRPT, that is preemptive short remaining process time first. And these are the four options out of which one will be correct. So now let's solve the question. As we can see, we are given this algorithm and we need to find out the Gantt chart for this first of all to calculate the average turnaround time. So as you can see at the 0th millisecond, the only process which is available to execute is P1. So at this particular 0th millisecond, we only have P1 with us. So it is going to take the CPU. But because this is preemptive algorithm, so it is going to run only for next 1 millisecond, because at the first millisecond, who is going to join? P2 is going to join. So P1 was already there. Now P2 has also joined. And after this 1 millisecond, the remaining time of P1 left is 5 minus 1, that is 4. Now you can see here the execution time of remaining execution time of P1 is 4 and P2 is 3, as you can see from here. And in this algorithm, what we need to do is, out of these two processes, which process is having the least remaining time is going to preempt the previous process. So as you can see, P2 has least remaining execution time. So it is going to preempt P1 and it is going to take the CPU next. So now P2 will take the CPU. Again, it is going to run only for 1 more millisecond, just because after the 1 millisecond, P3 will join the ready queue, right? So let's run it for 1 millisecond. 1 plus 1 is, it is 2. And the remaining time here left will be now 3 minus 1, that is 2. So at this point of time, who has joined? P1 was already there, then P2 joined, and then P3 also joined. At the second millisecond, P3 joined. So the remaining time of P1 is 4, P2 is 2, and P3 is 3. Out of which we can clearly see that the remaining time of P2 is lesser as compared to all of them. So it is not going to come out of the CPU, but it is going to continue into the CPU for how many milliseconds? Next 2 milliseconds, because the next process P4 is going to arrive at 4th millisecond. So 2 plus 2 is how much? That is 4. So by the time, you can clearly see that the 3 unit of time of this process, this is P2. So this process is going to be completed. Now this process has completed its execution. P2 is completed. After this, at the 4th millisecond, P1 was already there. P2 has completed the execution and P3 is there, and now P4 has also joined. Right, the remaining time of them, P1 is 4, P3 is 3, and P4 is 1. As you can clearly see, the execution time, remaining execution time of P4 is 1, which is the minimum out of all the three. So P4 is now going to take the CPU. Now P4 will take the CPU and it is going to run for next 1 millisecond. 4 plus 1, that is 5. And you can see that P4 has also completed its execution. After this, at the 5th millisecond, we are just left with two processes, and these two processes are P1 and P3. The remaining time of P1 is 4 and P3 is 3, out of which P3 is minimum. So P3 will take the CPU next. So now P3 will be in the CPU for how many milliseconds? Next 3 milliseconds. 5 plus 3, that is 8. And after that, at this millisecond, we are just left with, only P1, and the timing burst time for this is 4. So P1 is going to continue for next 4 milliseconds. 8 plus 4 is 12. So this is the Gantt chart for SPRT algorithm. And now what is asked in the question, we need to find out the average turnaround time. And what is the turnaround time? Turnaround time is the completion time minus arrival time. So let's find out the turnaround time of each process, then we'll find out the average also. So turnaround time of P1 is equal to, what is that? Let's find out. So P1 completed its execution here at 12. And what was the arrival time? 0. So here you can calculate that it will be 12 minus 0, that is 12. Now similarly finding out the turnaround time of P2. So for P2, as you can see clearly, P2 completed its execution at 4 and the arrival time is 1. So it will be 4 minus 1, that is 3. Now let's find out the turnaround time for P3. P3 completed its execution at 8 and the arrival time is 2. So 8 minus 2 is 6, right? Turnaround time of P4 is, and then P4 completed its execution, as you can see from here, at 5 and the arrival time is 4. So we will be subtracting that. So 5 minus 4 is how much? 1. So these are the individual turnaround times of all the processes. Now we have to find out the average turnaround time, and for that we will simply write average turnaround time is going to be the turnaround time of P1 plus P2 plus P3 plus P4 upon the total number of processes, that is 4 here in this case. So let's add all of them. 12 plus 3 plus 6 plus 1 upon 4, and that is 22 by 4, that is 11 by 2, and the answer is 5.5 milliseconds. Now let's see the options. So here, as you can see from here, our answer is 5.5. So it clearly matches with this option. So the right answer is A, 5.50. So I hope you enjoyed this session and you understood the concepts very well. To learn more, stay tuned to my channel. Thank you so much.